And we're live, pal.
We're live, pal. You're right. We're live and in living color. Wait, give a little. Actually, you know what? Just for tonight. All
Just
right.
for tonight, you bring that in.
Bring it in. Just for tonight. We'll see how long until I get tired of wearing it. Which is
There you
weird.
go.
I'm holding it like this, but I understand why he holds it like this because it's a very heavy belt, actually.
Yeah.
So, have you held a belt before?
Yeah, an actual title. Yeah. I literally have been in wrestling promotions.
I know.
Yes.
The joke here, for those that don't know, our boy here, he's a real wrestler. But we're not talking about you tonight. We're talking about somewhere where you're aiming to be.
Raw live on Netflix
You're
at the very first Netflix show tonight. It just ended like 3 minutes ago as of right now as we are streaming and recording this episode.
And just like Raw tonight, all right, the after
They
show of
debuted.
this.
They debuted on Netflix. We're debuting on Twitch on my channel.
We're debuting
Oh,
live
they were
on my
telling me that we were
channel.
on Netflix. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
I thought we were going to go a different route. I thought we were going to do a live Netflix and chill, So
Okay, all right. I mean,
Just
well,
'cause
if
the
you want
bed's
to do
fine.
that, I mean,
how did you enjoy
You
the
should
show?
do that.
How did you guys enjoy it? We got Chris here. The debut. This is like Raw X or Chokehold Chatter X for Raw on Netflix. The debut of Mr. Chris Mullins Jr. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Chris, why can't we see you? Why can't we see the blonde streak in your hair? This is a big
The
moment.
lights are out.
Okay.
Do I turn the lights on?
Well, yeah, come on. You turn and then you say, "We're here."
we're here.
Just like old times. Tyler said in the chat, "What the hell is going on here?" This is the Raw review, which for hopefully it's WWE Raw. It's not some crazy X-rays something. We're gonna get away with a little bit more.
Monday Night Raw on Netflix. This is the post-show Chokehold Chatter live on Twitch as well. I hope you guys are about to have a blast here because
We're
I
having a
got
good time.
notes. I got it all. Okay.
We had a bunch of people with these in the crowd too, so they were. If only they would have waited 2 more weeks, I would have been in LA. I could have been there, man. If only would have waited 2 more weeks. But it was jam packed, 16,000 people in a sold out Intuit arena, the stadium arena dome, Intuit Dome
Arena. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, Intuit Dome. Maybe.
Dome. I think it's an Intuit Dome is the official name, but
Yeah.
it's
It looks a
beautiful.
lot like the Sphere in
So-
Vegas.
It's in Inglewood, and you know what they say about Inglewood, as John Cena said. So.
He said they up to no good. He said.
Mr. Mullins hasn't changed a day. Still looking like one of those like 50-cent coins. My man.
Mullins, you look good, pal. You look good.
Thank you.
You look good.
You're golden,
So-
my boy.
Let's kick this off right. So, Raw on Netflix happens, and who better to start the show than the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, the Brahma Bull, the board of directors, Hollywood's own, The Rock.
Correct decision.
Great decision. The crowd was into it. I jumped up out of my chair. I was very excited. The Rock comes out, essentially goes babyface, or as a good guy, as some wrestling fans
I guess
don't
he said
understand.
he was hugging everybody. He was kissing everybody. I mean, there was still that bit of me where I was like, okay, maybe he'll do something different after the Roman and Solo match. We'll get there in a second. But, I mean, he was hugging Cody, which Cody didn't have the belt, which I felt was
Yeah.
weird. That's a side note. Nonetheless, though, he's chill with everybody. Rock is out there. I mean, Rock was having like the time of his life, and so he even hugged Triple H and everything. Yeah, it was interesting. So, but very much a hype. Before that, we did have a pretty good start with Triple H. We had the Triple H actually with the welcome to the history of WWE. So that was good, and then it led into Rock.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so I guess Triple H didn't really kick off the show. But
it's not about him.
That hype package just kicked it off. That hype package is out of the Triple H overlay.
yeah. And then another thing kicked off Raw, as we've seen, the Fortnite logo in the center of the ring. Dominic kept talking about it all night long. Stop it, you're cringing. Yeah, so we had a big Fortnite logo in the center of the ring replacing Prime. Prime was nowhere.
Prime's gone. But it'll be back. Prime went back, man. Come on.
It'll probably be on SmackDown, you think. Like,
Prime
I think Raw
might get either SmackDown or pay-per-views.
Or the pay-per-views.
Well, I mean, they're there anyways. They're in the corner. Everyone's, the Prime bottles. So, like...
That would not surprise me at all. So... I just laugh because the big Fortnite logo, along with Hogan's Real American Beer, and then we had the Riyadh season, cricket, and then something else was in the corner. Well, Netflix had their logo too.
But there's a couple more. Yeah. There's a couple more we're missing.
Yeah. It was. I thought it didn't look bad. I thought it was going to look bad on camera, but it didn't. To me, it didn't change much about the appearance of the ring on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you had any stream issues. I didn't have any streaming issues with this until like the very end.
Zero stream issues.
Now you mention it, like there's only one time, near the end where it was like the quality went down a little bit, but it wasn't like, for the most part, the 8K camera when they were there was great. So if you watch like the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight on Netflix or whatever, that had a lot more streaming issues. I think even there was a roast of Tom Brady. Was that it, Chris? One of the guys had a roast, and I don't think that was as bad. But the Mike Tyson was kind of rough. So this one was really good, in terms of Netflix getting into the streaming. And I mean, they're going to be doing it every single Monday. So I feel like they got it ironed out.
The live special of Fluffy is tomorrow.
Oh, that's a live special? Oh.
I'm pretty sure. I think I saw that on the schedule. Yeah,
it was pre-taped. Maybe they'll air it live, even though it's pre-taped. That's what I'm guessing.
That could be.
That's the way to go.
I wonder, is Raw going to stay live for when they go? Like they have shows over in London and.
Oh no! Yeah, they said this about. I want to say I saw this like a month or so ago. So Raw's going to be at like 3 p.m. on those days.
Oh shit! Okay.
Cool. That's pretty darn good.
Like you'll still be able to go back and rewatch it out, obviously at your own discretion at 8 o'clock if you want, but it will be shown live on Netflix.
The post show will still be at this time every week. That'll be the post show for you. So then after the whole Fortnite logo, John Cena comes out.
Hold on. Well, you missed a whole match, my man. You missed a whole match.
Oh, you missed the tribal.
Oh, no, yeah, okay.
That's your match.
I was going to get to that. Match. The very first match of the night, which blew me away. I really thought this was either going to main event or it was going to...
I was absolutely captivated this whole match.
Yeah.
Solo versus Roman Reigns. Tribal combat for the Ula Fala and for the rights of the head of the table, the tribal chief. So first it kicks off with... I'm surprised they didn't let the crowd anticipate the bell. They just kind of, as soon as both men made the entrance, they did the announcement, and then it was like immediate bell. Usually, like they let the crowd like eat it a little bit.
Oh no, they ate it during the 3 minutes during the U.S. commercial break. So for anyone in the U.S., we had a commercial break. So
yeah, unfortunately, if you're watching Netflix, if you're watching Raw on Netflix, you still have commercial breaks.
Not if you're international though. You get some.
They weren't as bad. I feel like they didn't really take away from the show though.
No, because I feel like they're all relevant too. Like cable, you know this, Chris. So cable television, when we watch like TNA and stuff like that, it's like my grandma's workout equipment or some weird shit. It was like, okay, like all these commercials were fitted for a Netflix audience.
Shows, yeah.
It was modern. It was a very modern advertising. It wasn't like
outside of the Cricket Wireless commercial, yeah.
You or a loved one could be, impacted by mesothelioma.
I was getting promoted to during the commercial break.
Yeah. Life alerts.
So this match started good, stayed hot, and then ended in complete chaos. Both bloodlines, except for Jey Uso, got involved. And then the end of it, Roman rips Solo in half with a spear. 1, 2, 3. But that's not where it ended. Roman wins, but then as it looks like the wise man is going to put the Ulafala on Roman, out comes The Rock. And me and you, we were bouncing back and forth along with Mullins about what was going to happen right there because it looked like The Rock was going to grab him, rock him, drop him, and then, we could have got somewhere with that. But The Rock just puts the Ulafala on his head or on his neck. They hug,
Hugs him.
and then Roman celebrates, and that's it. That was literally it. Nothing special happened out of that moment.
So I guess we're not going to get Rock taken away from anyone's Mania. He might not even, like, at this point, if he didn't, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
I actually think because they locked up Cena, it makes me think if they're like, Rock, if you can be here, be here. If you can't, you can't.
yeah. I feel like it stinks because I feel like this is another one of those situations like as the age creep is happening more and more, like you want to do Rock and Roman right now, and it's like, well, what are we doing? Are we doing Roman and Kevin or something? Like, I don't know the direction on that one. Then it's kind of weird. Who knows? Who really knows? Still, it's so fairly early, but I feel like it doesn't make sense now to do Rock and Roman, especially after Rock was out there hugging, kissing everybody, and then he announces he's going to be on NXT tomorrow. So
Yeah, he's gonna
on
be on NXT
New Year's
tomorrow night,
Evil, I believe it's called, he's
Yeah.
going to be hanging out with his daughter, which is fantastic that we finally get that. So
And we finally get to acknowledge that she's The Rock's daughter
And
because
she
they
got
talk about it
hurt.
sometimes. They didn't really say anything.
if I remember correctly, I mean, quote me if I'm wrong on this, Chris. I think she got hurt like a couple weeks ago. You know,
It was within the last month.
so
Yeah,
you
Eddie
could tie
Thorpe-
into that of like he's gonna
Yeah.
go and just whoop some ass down in NXT because his daughter got hurt there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddie Thorpe accidentally got pushed into her, like hit her on accident
The
due to like
Samoans
some
and the
like
Native
big
Americans.
fucking pull apart thing in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was all over like either the NXT North American title or the NXT title shot or the tag team titles, something with championship implications, and then she gets knocked down. Shawn Michaels blows up at Eddie Thorpe because Eddie's the one that like gets knocked into her, and he's like, "I didn't mean to." I seen that,
Mhm.
but so that match right there made me go, "This is the best Raw of all time." Like that, how that match went from bell to bell was just fantastic. So we're gonna bring something back here in the stream. We had it on the podcast a few weeks ago, Dom, and I want to bring back the Dominic Rybold star rating scale for this match. Out of 0 to 5 stars, where are we putting Roman and Solo Tribal Combat?
see, I like how you're putting me on the spot with stars. Why can't I use like any other metric system?
No,
But
No,
we use other
32
metrics on our other-
kilometers out of 400
nope.
meters.
Gotta do stars, Bubba.
Stars. Okay. I'm not too crazy about the crazy overbooking at the end, throwing everybody in there. So for that, I'll give it 4.25 stars out of 5.
4.25 star. All right.
I had a
good-
great
good
time.
deal.
Solo looked great. Roman loves his family. He's doing the job for Solo. Like, literally doing God's work, making this guy. Even if we are booing him, I like Solo. Very clearly, like, Roman's giving him, like, the good help to make him look great. So,
Yeah, he took an ass whooping in the match. Mullins,
Yeah.
if you had a star rating scale, the Chris Mullins star rating scale now, 0 to 5 stars, where are you putting Roman and Solo?
I'm gonna go with 4.5 Chad Gable Demigorgons out of 5.
Chad Gable Demigorgons. All right. So then the next match. All right. Well, the next thing is John Cena comes out. He announces he declares for the Royal Rumble, and not just declares for the Royal Rumble, but he also declares that he is going to win the Royal Rumble. Now, as wrestling fans, me, Mullins, and Dominic here, Mullins, I want to say you've seen every single Royal Rumble. Dominic, I want to say you have too.
pretty much, yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how
Maybe
would
I've
you
missed
feel if-
Rumble 9. Rumble 9 might be a little shaky. But
Yeah. How would you guys feel if John Cena was to enter and then win the Royal Rumble in his retirement tour.
The Rumble's not what it was anymore. It used to be something where like you would say, okay, you want this young guy that has never done anything. The Rumble's really just to get a spot in the match. Give it to Cena. I don't think there's no one on the roster right now that really truly needs the Rumble win.
Well, I feel like so the Rumble's the gateway portal for Cena and Punk. Like Punk wins it, guaranteed main event. Cena wins it, guaranteed title shot and main event. But he's looking for the title opportunity, and I feel like there's so many good stories you could do here because you could drag it out either way. Because then Cena could be like, "Well, shit." Because I feel like they might do that after how he kind of teased it in his promo. I feel like they might do that. He might be like, "Shit, I didn't make it at the Rumble. I'm going to the Chamber. Maybe he'll win the Chamber. He'll get a shot at Mania. He'll lose at Mania. He'll go to the Money in the Bank, and then maybe he wins it. Maybe he doesn't." So I feel like winning the Rumble. I don't know if they'll do that. I feel like that's a speed run challenge if they do that. But I feel like he's got a whole year. Let's just drag it out a bit. Maybe have his first title shot at Mania, which is phenomenal if he wins it. That's very historic. That's for a great moment. But I think everyone's fine too if you do it at SummerSlam. Because Money in the Bank's
If he
before.
loses the Rumble, it gives him an excuse to get in the Chamber the following month.
Exactly.
So
then we move on. Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. Well, originally, if you remember the advertisement for 2 weeks ago, this match was supposed to be Last Woman Standing.
Should have been. It should have been. I don't know why. I don't know what was the point of not.
Changed, but
I think if I was a betting man, I feel like the reason behind this was because they had tribal combat, tribal warfare. So they're kind of.
I think they didn't want another hour-long match.
Well, they said somebody made something where it was like tonight's going to be 3.5 hours, and it went literally like 3 hours and 4 minutes. So it's like, and the first hour was really like a lot of it was just promo heavy, in that match. Like, so I feel like they could have gotten away with the Last Woman Standing. So
Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the women's world title.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this was probably the best match I've seen Liv have in a long time. And this is probably the best I've seen Rhea look outside of the Charlotte match from WrestleMania. And
they got very good chemistry together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley picks up the win, wins back the women's world title, and we get to see her hit the Riptide on Dominic after the match. So we'll go for the thoughts of the match first, and we'll talk about the aftermath. Dominic, what are your thoughts on Liv and Rhea for the women's world title?
Dude, it's great. It actually makes you give a shit about women's wrestling. For the longest time, no one cared, or you just cared literally about 2 people at the top, maybe 3 at the top. Now it's like women's wrestling across the board in WWE you care about, from NXT to Raw to SmackDown, even the tag team belts, and I feel like the thing that I'm getting at overall with this is that the highest level of the women's division with Rhea and Liv Morgan, and the encompassing storyline of the Terror Twins and the love affair with Dom Mysterio and all the stuff with Judgment Day, like the women are at the focal point of it. Not Damian Priest, who was world champion, not Finn Balor, who was the first Universal champion, friggin' Bullet Club leader, Dom Mysterio, the son of Rey Mysterio. Like, no, like the women are at the core of the storyline, and so like they feel uber important, and I think that's a great thing for them. And it elevates everything, the wrestling, the story, and so I love this match. It was really good, but the one thing is that it should have been Last Woman Standing. That's the only thing that I think took away from the brutality of it. I think you could have had a really brutal Last Woman Standing with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and I feel like that's probably where, like, on the card placement, like, you could have done the Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre match instead, and let this co-main evented. So
I agree. Mullins, what are your thoughts on this women's championship match?
Very much the same as Dom said. Used to not care about the women's division. Again, besides a couple people, nothing really felt special. Everything's clicking right now. Everything feels special. This feud, again, very much so could have been last woman standing.
I think it should.
Because I think the heat was there for the feud, obviously, and it's again, where do you go from here at this point? I don't think they're going to go back to are we going to just continue this feud?
I think this is over. I would have to believe.
Yeah, I was going to say at this point, and unless we transition into maybe a Raquel going after the title.
Well, I mean, going after the title, no, but like Raquel and Rhea had a match at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
And it was, in my opinion, I might get shot for this one by a few of our friends. In my opinion, it was not good. I'm also not a big Raquel Rodriguez fan or Raquel Gonzalez, whatever she's going by now. I'm not a big Raquel fan. So I used to be when she was like thick mommy cool in NXT and they were kind of building her up to be the next like woman Kevin Nash thing, and then like they put her with Rhea, made her look goofy. I'm not a fan.
I thought Raquel was better in NXT. I mean, I didn't see her too much, but as far as I know, she was the girl in NXT for a while.
Yeah, when she came back to NXT, she had a hell of a run. I thought it was really good. I know where this is probably going to go on the star rating scale, but Dominic, on your star rating scale, then we'll go to the Demigorgon scale next. On your scale, where are you putting Liv and Rhea out of 5 stars?
Don't
be dropping 6 stars, Dave Meltzer.
No. Actually, I'm going to give it like a 3.75. I mean, 3.75.
Just because you were lied to.
Yeah, I felt lied to, and if there was one match to put someone through that announce table, I felt like it should have been this match because it would have been funnier. All those guys, no one puts anyone through the table. My God, when Rhea picked up, I thought she was going to throw him in a Dom at first, but when Rhea picked up Liv and just slammed her back on that thing, I was like, man, that looked rough.
That table's breaking.
That table, I honestly...
Do we think we get a table break in the first month?
I think they'll try. I think it'll be Damian and Finn next week.
It's going to be something.
That might be the only one.
That table's got some extra structure to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got the Dominic star rating scale. Let's go to the Chad Gable Demigorgon scale. Mullins, where are we putting this?
We're going to go 3.5.
3.5. Okay, all right. Explain why it's not 3.25.
It's not 3.25. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed the chemistry these two have together. It was a very good match. It was very... I don't know if it was like a WrestleMania level match, but it was definitely like a pay-per-view level women's match.
Yeah.
And so that's usually where I would put a pay-per-view women's level match of that caliber. Mm-hmm. Nothing really crazy sticks out, but it was a very good match. And hopefully a good ending to this feud.
And then after that match, we got two cool moments back to back. So we got Rhea finally getting her revenge on Dominic Mysterio, because everyone was thinking that this was Liv Morgan's revenge tour turned into Rhea Ripley's revenge tour. She didn't just beat Liv and get back the women's world title. She got to punt Dominic Mysterio in the yam bag, and then she got to hit him with a beautiful riptide. Dominic Mysterio did a really good job. He got
up like a champ.
He did take it like a champ. Now, my wondering is, I know this thought is gonna get me some heat, but what would you do if we got Rhea versus Dom at WrestleMania?
I don't know if I'd mind that.
First of all, do you book it first of all, and how much backlash does that match get?
I think they get the title off Rhea first. I don't think you keep the title on Rhea, and then have her wrestle Dom.
No, you have her fight. Tell me, put the belt on the line. No, I'm playing.
I feel like that's gotta be the ultimate level of disrespect for her. Is like he cost her the belt again to someone, and then she's like, "I had enough of you. I'm settless. You and I." The only thing else with it is that I feel like I'd want to put like a cage match on it so he can't escape. Because I feel
Oh,
like
yeah? Okay, yeah.
that I just if there's any way that it happens, I feel like you go above and beyond. Because we've had the shark cage with him,
Yeah.
and she was beating him senseless with
You can
that.
do a strap match, maybe.
And she could do well, I don't know
strap
if you
match
I don't know if you
with
want to do a
Buffalo.
strap match with Ray and Dom, but a steel cage at least, because he's not going to be throwing her into the cage. Maybe like a drop kick or something, but she's going to be. It's just going to be like a solid 10, 15 minutes of her beating his ass. So in a cage, and I think everybody would be down for that. So
Okay. Well, up next, we had another really cool moment, I guess, if you're...
dead man.
It was it was weird because Undertaker's theme hits, you get the gong, and then you get the American Badass theme. He comes out, does a lap around the ring, goes back up the rampway, and then him and Rhea do the whole one-armed up thing like Dominic was just doing. And it was just cool send-off. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. That's just it. Boom, and then he's riding off to the sunset.
That's what we should have had for Hogan too.
Yeah, Hogan should have came out.
Because we lost out on another debut, another match tonight.
Oh.
And I feel like the promos were nice, but
It's coming next week. Though. They basically already teased that it's coming next week.
and it gives you a reason to watch next week. That and like the Balor Priest match, yeah, which is nice. I just feel like the Taker did it right because he didn't take away from anything. I know some people said that Taker, like Braun Breaker, should have finished his thing, getting angry, spearing Taker. You know, there's that point on it too. But I don't know. This was nice because it was very helpful, like an extra, helping touch for Rhea to get an even higher stars praise. So
you say her name wrong one more time, and I'm coming to your house.
Rhea Rip Lee.
Rhea.
No, it's Rhea. It's
Rhea.
Rhea Rip.
Mullins, what do you think about Taker?
I absolutely love anytime Taker shows up. And I love the fact that Taker's one of the legends that understands that he's not there to continue to pat himself on the back. We've done that for years and years and decades. So he understood the assignment. He understood he was there to make that moment even more special for Rhea. And did it perfectly. I love the fact that, like, we had this conversation during the actual show. I love the fact that I'm guessing he did quietly retire the dead man character because the last three times
on a podcast, if you watch Dead Man Walking or listen to it, whichever way you want to go with it.
6 feet under.
It's six. Is it 6 feet under? I thought it was called Dead Man Walking.
I'll check it out.
I think it's 6 feet under.
So 6 feet under. He said it a few times because I've seen a few different clips of it where he said like he doesn't care about coming back. Like he'll always come back and like do something cool, but like he doesn't want to wear the hat and coat anymore because it doesn't mean anything now. Like,
yeah,
what's sense to make for him to come out, do the 30 minutes it's going to take to get to the ring, and then turn right around and leave? Like the American Badass thing just makes so much more sense in this time frame. Because he comes out, gets the pop, rides around, leaves. Like
there's only one way you bring back the dead man. I truthfully feel like in my soul, and that's with they need to do more with the Wyatt Six, and then you have that moment of Taker and Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, because he had that moment with Bray, and I feel like that's the only touching, way to bring back Taker. Nodding, you did your brother proud. I feel like that's the only like good, respectful way all the way around to handle something like that. But otherwise, no, you don't need. You can just do American Badass all day, every day. So choke slamming people whenever.
Well, then that gets us to another cool few moments. So I don't remember exactly at what time, either this before the next thing I'm going to talk about or after. But Pentagon is basically shown that is who the luchador is that is going to debut. We've had a few teases throughout the week, and tonight finally the mask shows up and it has Penta right in the nose and eyes area. I thought that looked really cool.
Yeah.
Also, if you look at it a different way, it also said Phoenix in there too.
Oh, maybe. Well, no, because Phoenix is also still.
Well,
signed.
no, that's what I'm saying. In general, I think that we know that obviously he's not going to be there for a little while, but he's definitely, I'm guessing, on the way.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure after his contract expires with AEW, I'm sure he'll be heading on over to be the next.
I think this cements it right here.
Yeah. So, Dominic, what are your thoughts about the whole Penta?
A little bummed out he didn't show up tonight, but you know what? It gives you a reason to keep watching. Honestly, next week, like, very excited for it. And I personally, I like them better as single stars. Like, Lucha Bros are cool. Team with your brothers, cool. All right, all the brothers out there in wrestling, it's cool. But Penta, you know, his run in Lucha Underground, given that was like a decade ago, hella good. So hopefully,
his run in Lucha, his run in TNA, like.
Well, yeah, but I'm always thinking of like the crazy stuff he was doing in Lucha. Like, I just want him to get to that point of like breaking arms off again. I just want him snapping arms off. That's what I wanted in his AEW run. That just never happened. I just want him snapping arms. The Lucha Bros thing's cool, but I feel like they always hit just a bar of they were just a tag team, and so I don't want them to be just a tag team. Like, I want the Pentagon stuff to be he is the luchador guy that like all these other ones couldn't have been. So
I want to see him fight and retire Rey Mysterio once and for all.
It's weird because I feel like Dom would be the one to retire Rey, but Penta, that's like your money. If you run this from now until Mania, that's probably your money match for Penta and Rey. Maybe Penta comes in halfway through, betrays Rey, and like snaps his arm or something, and leads into that Mania match.
If it wasn't, if you look at it right, every time you see a new luchador, we saw it with Sin Cara, with Kalisto, with
Grand Metalik,
Dragon Lee.
Not really that much, but Dragon Lee.
With not El Phantasma, but not Garth. Damn it, what is his Santos when he was wearing the mask?
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh, it's the next Rey Mysterio. It's the next Rey Mysterio." If anyone's going to fill the name of Rey Mysterio and fill the boots, no, maybe not in the same way as like a wholesome babyface that Rey was for 90% of his career.
Yeah.
But as a guy that can take Lucha Libre to like another elevation, maybe. I've seen Pentagon's work from Lucha to AAA to CMLL to fucking AEW, TNA. I'll put it on Penta. Like, I've never seen a bad Penta match.
Let me speak to WWE right now. If you're listening, watching, somehow, sell those Penta masks. You will make buckets of money. Let me tell you what, those Penta masks will print so much money. I feel like AEW
were printing money.
Like, however many years later, like what, 6 years later, they finally were like, hologram, let's sell hologram mask. Dude, you had Penta there the whole damn time. WWE, like, you love Rey Mysterio mask, you love Kane mask, you love Mankind mask. The Penta mask will sell buckets for you. I don't even know if they sell Axiom masks, but they should. They should sell masks.
Do you remember back in the day of the WWE magazine? Mullins, you probably do. Do you remember the fucking those magazines, the Raw magazine, the SmackDown magazine? Mm-hmm. If you went to the back page was the WWE shop, and they had
catalog,
2 pages of Rey Mysterio masks.
Yeah,
and dude, they were priced heavy, but I'm assuming they were printing dollar bills.
Oh, I bet
every kid had them out there on the shows too.
Every single version was selling.
Yeah, every single one of them. Like, there was masks that Rey hadn't even worn, like, that were just Rey designed. Like,
yeah,
they were just, this is the color scheme for it.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, they were so good.
I mean, what you do is you go to the local city and you you print that city's colors, their sports team color, and there you go. You're
Exactly,
making
because then you can wear that
buckets.
to a sporting event.
Exactly.
and then everyone's
I've
like,
seen it
"Oh,
at
you-"
Bengals games.
yeah, but
you're
Bills
printing
games,
money.
Bengals games, Chiefs games,
Mhm.
Patriots. I've seen them all over the NFL this year.
And I just bought a Pentagon mask on Etsy, and it was not that much money. So you put a WWE logo on it, you make it higher quality. You know, I hope the one that's coming in is high quality, but I'm telling you, I bought mine from like Mexico City, literally,
I want a
and
vinyl mask.
I
If
think
I
it was
get a
like
mask, I want that vinyl, like
$30.
good looking mask.
So hopefully, so I don't know if you're gonna mention this, but I feel it's a good time because it's already passed with the Roman Reigns. One thing at the end of Roman and Paul Heyman backstage was he goes through a door.
I was just about to, yeah.
WWE 2K25. So that is our
January
2K25.
27th
What'd you
is
say?
when January 27th is when Raw is going to talk about it, but the trailer launches January 28th.
Makes sense.
They just posted it on their Twitter.
Okay.
It drops January 28th.
So I guess this will
trailer.
still be a late Marchish release.
I'm assuming if not, it'll be right around Mania weekend.
Okay. That's probably
If I was them, I would drop it night one of Mania. Like, let that be the big. Well, I don't know, because then people are gonna want to stay home and play the game, and then like, well, I don't know. We'll see how good it is before we start assuming that.
yeah, that's probably another time for predictions on the game as a whole. But I'm looking forward to it. 2K24 doesn't fucking work. So
Works on PlayStation,
I'm a
Bubba.
joker. I'm a joker, just like with Call of Duty, Chris, just like with Madden, just like with every other annual release. There's at least one of us that, you know, one game that hooks us in. 2K is what does it. I get a good like 5, 6, 7 months out of it, maybe if I'm lucky, and then the game just breaks. And so let's see how we do this go around. So
That's crazy. So you took my thing about 2K. I'm gonna take this one. The next cool moment that made us all go, well, it's on Netflix. Right before Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre, Travis Scott, they played like 45 seconds of Travis Scott's song, and he's standing in the crowd, a beer in one hand, and a lit blunt. Not just a blunt, a lit blunt that he puffs on at least, I counted 5 times.
I counted 5 times.
Right in Jay's face. Like, he just, and then Jay like walked right in the cloud.
crazy. I don't even know. Has that ever been done, Chris? Like, we've had a lot of crazy things in Raw history, but that might be a first. Actually,
Marijuana, no. I know that Big Show used to come out smoking in WCW, but it was cigarettes.
and R-Truth smoked too. But
Like,
even
I've seen
then,
cigarettes. R-Truth did cigarettes to Jeff Hardy.
yeah, but no, this is
Jeff Hardy did, yeah.
blunt. So,
But a blunt, yeah, a lit blunt, an active blunt. Now,
history was made.
granted, if you looked at it and you zoomed in on it, it was not in a blunt wrap. It did look like he had just rolled a joint, so it could have been a joint, could have been a blunt. There are differences, Dom. We know you've never dabbled. It's
California, bro. Okay, like,
is it legal there? Is that?
It's California.
Yeah, it's recreationally legal in California.
They're just probably selling them
so
outside Inglewood. Like, yeah.
That's why he got away with it. Okay,
Inglewood,
that would
that's
have
no
been
good,
like
dude.
New York. That'd have been like, nope. Fucking.
Cena told you, bro. Inglewood ain't no good.
So he brings Jay brings him down to the ring, and he's lit blunt the whole time. We never see him afterwards.
He does the yeet with, you know, Michael Cole and them standing up, but that's it.
After the bell sounds, he's gone. Like, I thought that like he'd do that celebrity thing where they like interfere for a second on the baby face.
He got too high and had to go home.
Yeah, well, maybe he had to catch a ride, or maybe the cops were like, "Hey, don't do that."
I thought there was going to be a concert. That's what had me thrown off. Like,
I saw it all over Facebook and Twitter that all week that he was supposed to.
Yeah,
well, maybe
I was
he was supposed to, and then, you know, the Lynn Blunt fiasco, and
no, maybe they just said 45 seconds of your new song. We don't need like 10 minutes. You can just 45 seconds, knock that out.
Yeah, and that crowd exploded when the song started too. So now, if you were there, or if you were not watching it on Netflix, if you were an international person watching it on Netflix and not in the United States, you didn't get commercials. So you got to see all sorts of cool things like the New Day rundown, Kendrick Lamar, and Kathy Kelly keeps going out to the ring and stage and telling everyone what's going to happen on Raw on Netflix if they just stuck around. I saw that a few times. You see it in Gorilla, and then Rock was live on Instagram during the show too. So there's that. But after the Jay and Drew match happens, Jay finally picks up a win against Drew McIntyre. I'm not gonna lie. I understand the Drew McIntyre thing right now, but that match is the only time of Raw where I was like it kind of lost me there at the end.
It's funny because that's a match that like would be higher echelon normally compared to like normal Raw filler. Like this would be actually like a main event match, but with everything else that happened, it kind of was just there, like to be the break, which was weird. Like I said, this would be like a normal, like a week ago main event for Raw or SmackDown.
The crowd got to do what they wanted to do because they were wanting to yeet.
Yeah, you gotta eat.
And then Jey Uso comes out, they eat all over themselves, and then
that's what Pat said.
Yeah, and then they get to go home happy because Jay picks up a win. This was a good time Raw show.
Speaking of yeet, Michael Cole up on the table.
Michael Cole got up on the announce table. He yeeted all over himself.
He didn't know how to get down.
He didn't know how to get down. He said, "How the hell do I get down from here?"
He stayed up there the whole show, the rest of the show.
So let's talk about the match briefly. Star rating scale, Dominic, for Drew and Jey Uso. I'm gonna say this was the dud of the night.
I just think it was just an average match. I'd give it.
It was the forgetful one of the night.
Yeah, I would give it literally a 2.5. It's just an average match. If it was any other show, it would have main evented. But it kind of just got lost in the shuffle. And it's funny enough, I think the only thing that stuck with me was Travis Scott hitting the blunt, doing the eat with the guys. Like, that's the only thing I'm going to remember. So I'm not going to remember anything in between the ring compared to some of the other stuff. So,
Mullins, you should have lit one during the entrance. You could have done it with Travis Scott.
Well, I told you, I currently actually only have my pen on me. But I definitely took like 3 rips of my pen in honor of Travis Scott being the first person ever to smoke an actual blunt live on Raw.
Here's a bigger question. Was it worth Drew McIntyre losing this? Because I feel like he was starting to get on like a little reign of terror. Like maybe he's...
Yes, because as much as everyone wants the bloodline thing to end, I want the Drew McIntyre hunting Roman Reigns and the bloodline thing to end. Because look, we gave him Clash at the Castle. We gave him Clash at the Castle again. We gave him SummerSlam. We gave him WrestleMania. We gave him matches with Cody, Jay, Roman, Sammy. It's done, brother. You were over once. You were slightly over a second time. You're not reaching. They're looking for a guy to box office Roman Reigns. They found him. His name's not Drew McIntyre. His name is Cody Rhodes. And the other guy's name is John Cena.
And the other guy's name is CM Punk.
CM Punk. It is not Drew McIntyre. So I think it's time for Drew to find something else to do, like go fight Braun Breaker or somebody.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful.
Get away, or Gunther, but go fight Gunther.
I think he needs to go over. I think he needs to go to SmackDown.
I think
he's going to SmackDown. He's going to be stuck in the same loop in there because Cody's over there, and as soon as he fights Cody, he's going to be like, "You partnered with Roman Reigns."
Without taking too much time into this, because this is a whole fantasy booking thing, I would put him down in NXT and let him like acquire a little group of guys, and then basically do what Punk did. Was so Punk and Roman did essentially was he gets his own little group of guys, and then he's like,
Go get Alex.
these are my young guys, we're gonna do what you guys did but better. We are the Sword and Shield or whatever. We are the Nexus or whatever.
We are Gallus.
Yeah.
Just take Gallus. Yeah, I like
Just
Chris's thing.
Yeah, just take Gallus and then
Gallus.
just take them and then just then you're gonna hate it, but then go attack Punk and Roman and them again.
Hey,
but with a faction this time. So.
Yeah, because then he has guys that can take the heat rather than him getting beat up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so then next we get Hulk Hogan getting viciously out of the building.
I got text message how bad it was.
I got 4 messages from somebody else about how bad that was, and like they were mind blown that Hogan
I got messages from people who I wouldn't say are wrestling fans, but they were watching tonight, and they even mentioned what happened there.
But they just don't understand. I just think logistically this is a bad call because you're in Los Angeles, California with Hulk Hogan.
You're in Inglewood.
You're in Inglewood with like
know your culture. Know the culture of where you're at.
And Hogan didn't add anything to the show is the problem. All Hogan did was go out there and he was like, buy my beer,
Buy my beer and then Raw is Netflix, brother.
Yeah, no, like he didn't add anything at all to it.
I felt so bad. And I get that like Triple H's hero was Hulk Hogan as a kid.
And Hogan's still alive.
Any wrestling fan that's a wrestler or is a wrestling fan that was in the 80s, they're going to tell you that if not one of their idols, their number one idol was Hulk Hogan. So I understand it, but understand that people do shit in their life that makes them not wanted by the public.
Especially
fans, like John
Inglewood,
Cena,
California.
Like John Cena said, wrestling fans are smart. They know what Hulk Hogan said. And just because he apologized to the
somewhere else, it might have worked out better.
If it was in the Garden, I think it would have worked. I think the Garden would have accepted him.
Yeah.
If they were in Florida, I think they would have accepted
him. This is backyard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to Chicago. He's not going. These are like the 2 worst places.
If he was in like Texas, Texas would have accepted it.
Oh yeah, like these were the 2 worst places to bring his ass out on. Like
Saturday night's main event in San Antonio probably would have been fine.
I don't know what the point was.
Not Inglewood, California.
Like I said, when you hear about the last women's match and Penta original stuff that was supposed to be there, and then you get Hogan instead, and he doesn't add, like Taker didn't take away from anything, didn't use up too much time, and he just came out on a bike, was cool, threw up the fist, looked cool with Rhea. Hogan didn't go out there with like literally even go and get some heat with Alpha Academy. Like he could have went out there at Alpha Academy and Jimmy Hart's out there waving the flag and they're all trying to be like super patriotic and then they're getting booed and then Hogan's like, I'll leg drop y'all, brother. What's going on here or something? But no, he just drank my beer. He just drank my beer. That's all it was. It was a drink my beer promo.
My thing is like I think that they started to cut his promo short though because he started to go on a little adventure time, a little story time, and then he cut right back.
That's all. That's what all people do.
Well, no, because if you watch it back, watch what Jimmy Hart does. So Jimmy Hart's waving the flag. Hogan starts talking. That crowd gets real loud. Jimmy Hart looks to the entrance, like he looks to towards the curtain, and then he looks back. He leans over and says something to Hogan, but he looks like he's talking to the crowd. And then Hogan immediately goes, "Drink my beer, brother." And then that was it. So I really think they were like, "Hey, dude, get the fuck out of here." Like,
yeah, we can't. We can't
going good.
You down. We got to get some other shit going.
Yeah. So then we go from Hogan's fucking fiasco. That was straight garbage. To the main event of the evening. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. 18 months in the making. Longer if you count that one promo by Seth Rollins at that 2K thing.
2K23. Yeah.
Yeah, where he shoots on Punk a little bit. So Punk versus Rollins happens in the main event. A pretty solid match. Punk started to get a little old manish towards the end, but held together. Punk picks up the win. Dead center of the ring. Clean
On the
pinfall.
Fortnite logo.
On the Fortnite logo. A few things to talk about before we get to the star rating. He comes out in the Ring of Honor jacket. They mention the Ring of Honor past. They mention the fact that Seth Rollins went to Punk's training school, wasn't able to keep going because of money. And then they talk about the Shield, Punk and Rollins in NXT, and then fucking Punk leaving, trash talking WWE, and coming back. Do you think that with Punk winning the only match they've had, kind of scary to see that 18 months we've only gotten one match out of these two? Granted, Punk's injury status and Rollins' injury status and everything like that. The only match the two guys have had, Punk wins it. First of all, we'll get to the star rating scale after this question. Do you think it's over?
No, I hope you're ready for another match in like 8 months, though. It's not going to be anywhere as immediately. You might get like a
SummerSlam.
Yeah, you might get like a little showing in like a Rumble or something, but I don't know. Yeah, it's SummerSlam's like the next immediate one with these guys, but I think you got big things going on the road to WrestleMania, and I don't think you dick around with Punk on a collision course with Rollins or Drew unless it's like the Sinister Six trying to prevent him from getting the main event, which, like I said, I feel like Punk's on a collision course with Cena because Cena's trying to get just a title opportunity. Punk's trying to get the main event, which is solidified in 2 ways: the Chamber and the Rumble. That's it. You're not getting the main event either way.
Not if you do the big star thing. You have a point. Normally, the way to the main event is of 2 ways: the Rumble or the Chamber. But then there's the big star way that Punk talked about last year, where you've had a guy that's been busting his ass trying to get to the main event. And what's that up ahead? It's a big star coming to take it all away. So and it's happened to Punk. It almost happened to Cody.
So there's like 3/4 ways Punk could do this. But the one way we're not discussing is Punk wins the world title at one of these shows. And it's
I think he should fight Gunther. I think that has to be next.
Okay, so if Gunther goes to fight, if it's true, if Gunther goes to fight Goldberg on his way out at probably Mania, is Gunther going to lose the belt to Punk at the Rumble, and then that solidifies Punk's going to the main event?
I would much rather see Punk as champion going into Mania rather than winning it at Mania. Because I think he needs to be in a main event at Mania, whether it's night 1 or night 2. I would prefer night 1. He doesn't have to win it to finally main event.
No, he just has to. And the story, honestly, doesn't have to be. There's a lot of cool ways you can go about it, because you can do the collision course with Cena, because Cena wants to beat the record. Punk just wants to see at the main event, but the main event could be the Rumble. Punk overall just wants to be in the match, and if he loses it, he gives the big rub to someone else that beats him. The story, I feel like, with Punk may not even be necessarily, Punk Rumble. It may be, is you do the stupid shit. Is Punk healthy? Is Punk gonna make it to Mania? Oh my gosh, he got fucking speared by Braun Breaker this week, or typhooned by what's his name, Bronson Reed. Yeah, but I mean, it's like you just send someone out there to like, is he gonna make it to Mania? I feel like that's the story. You keep teasing people to be like, this shattered old guy, is he gonna make it, or is he gonna have to relinquish his main event? So I feel like that's a more engaging story. So
So now we get to the Demigorgon and the star rating scale. Mullins, I will let you start here. Punk and Rollins, where does it go on the Chad Gable Demigorgon scale?
I'm gonna go 4-7. I really enjoyed this match.
Pretty solid, pretty solid. I thought it was a good time main event, and it gave me everything I wanted. It gave me a brawl, it gave me stiff shit, it gave me very entertaining shit, and it gave me a great finish, not some dusty ass normal Raw finish, like
yeah,
a solid finish. Dominic, where are you putting it on the Dominic Rybold star rating scale?
yeah, I'm giving it a solid 5 because I'm judging it based on the guys at their age on a Monday Night Raw, not on Mania or whatever. Like, which this felt like a Raw after Mania, or whatever, or its own pay per view, as you were saying. But for these guys at their age and everything else, like all the other little, quirks, attributes, they're not 20-year-old guys anymore, 30-year-old guys anymore. Uh, Rollins is, but for Punk at his age, it was great. Punk only has so many like huge matches that he can do some big stuff in or really hurt himself in. Taking a buckle bomb, that was it. I was like, you did it. You weren't cowering out to, we're playing it safe here. He even took his own move a couple times. So
I hated that buckle bomb. As soon as I saw him pick him up, I went, no, no, no. Goes over to it, and he placed him pretty safely. Like,
I
will
went
say
and
that.
picked him up.
Yeah. Like, he placed him as safely as he could. It's not like that Sting buckle bomb where he just fucking launched him.
There you go, old man.
Which I thought if anyone's getting launched, it was gonna be Punk. But no, he placed him pretty safely. So I thought overall that main event was really good. So we've been talking about the star rating scale all. Go ahead, Dominic. Go ahead.
Actually, Chris, you go first, and then I have a good finale question here because there's one last thing to end off here on Netflix on Raw.
All right. So what I was gonna say is that overall, we talked about the star rating scale. We talked about everything with Raw. If you had to give Monday Night Raw an overall, because a lot of people like to go overall score, I'll go first. I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. Like, this was a solid. If not, I'd probably go 4.75 for Jay and Drew holding it back. But like, if that's not counted, I'm going 5 stars. What about you, Dom?
Dude, can't see me 5-star.
It
was perfect. It was perfect.
Five.
The only thing, if we wanted like a little nitpicky, is just like Hogan or whatever. You know what I mean?
Hogan and Jay.
Very minimal.
Other
things
than
I can
that,
do
yeah,
about
like
this.
whatever. We got, it's weird because I think we talked about this at the beginning of the show. Is this going to be the night where they give us everything we want? Even though we kind of predicted it, it would go exactly how with the winners for the most part. It's like the way they did it, it was good. You kind of do have a couple of questions with the whole Rock thing of like, what the hell, we're doing.
Yeah, that was really confusing. Like, we
just hit the reset button, I guess, on that. Or
is Hollywood Rock dead? Is he no longer the final boss? Like,
yeah, I don't know if we canceled that. Also, side note, before I move over to you, Chris, Logan Paul sounds like he's full time based on the video package. There was a Logan Paul video package where he said, "I'm doing this." I forget his exact words, but it was basically
he said that I'm no longer treating this as a side hustle. I'm giving this my life.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's just see if that happens. Let's just see what happens.
I'm not.
Same with the Cena thing. Cena said he's going to be wrestling on Raw.
I'm not a big fan of the Logan Paul thing, because if what I saw in multiple different dirt sheets is true, which I don't know if it is, I don't work in the back, I don't know anyone in the back, and I don't have any connections to any WWE staff or anybody in the Logan Paul camp. But if the reports that I've seen on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, things like that, apparently Logan Paul tried to retire when his kid was born, and WWE and TKO threatened to sue him for the amount of money that they were going to have to pay him. And though he did not honor his initial first couple of dates, apparently, like, and then so they kind of bullied him back into it, which, whatever, but they paid him a boatload of cash. Like, everyone talks about Punk's boatload to come back with AEW and with WWE. Like, Logan Paul's getting paid a good chunk of change, and he's gotten a lot of WWE guys on his podcast too. And that's free advertisement to a whole nother demographic.
Yeah.
Like,
That's all this is at this
only
point.
ever had like celebrities and like,
dude,
the Island Boys.
Dude,
now he's got
Trump was on that podcast. Like, literally.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Logan Paul, but the guy has enough leverage to literally get the next president. He's got every star under the sun. I think Orton was on there. I think Taker was on there.
Orton, Taker, Shawn Michaels, Edge, John Cena,
Triple H, like everybody in the Brothers been on there pretty much. Like, he has enough pull.
Now, I will say, if you rewatch the Cody Rhodes one, you can tell they're not wrestling fans. They didn't even know who the fuck he was, besides the fact that, like, Logan knew who he was, but he didn't know who he was.
Yeah, I mean, you could have asked him a million questions about Dusty Dustin, his family, legacy, so on, but it's whatever. That's what
when you ask him about a porn star he's not related to because her last name is Rhodes.
Yeah.
His last name's not even
we'll just
Rhodes
see
yet.
what occurs there. So
I hope the best for Logan Paul in WWE because he's got God-gifted talent. But personally, I think he's a scumbag. So, but I have my opinions about Logan Paul. So, future thoughts about Raw? Do we think this is going to be a good thing for Netflix?
yeah,
Yes.
this is phenomenal for Netflix, to put it very lightly, probably. I had one question because it was on the top before I forgot on this one. CM Punk's still got a favor with Paul Heyman.
What do we think it is?
It's still only a matter of time until he cashes it in. So, what is it? Because ultimately, the pathway probably leads to Mania. But is it Roman had a title rematch and Punk's going to get it? Is it Roman wins the belt and Punk's the very first guy to challenge for it? Is it Punk takes Roman's spot in the Rumble? Like, what in the world do you think?
So for
Punk
all
takes
of those
Roman's wise man.
For all of those
Sure.
questions, I have an answer for one of them.
Okay.
You said, what if Roman is champion and the first match is Punk?
Yeah.
Do we give Roman the belt back after he had a death grip on it for
No.
3 years? Like, I don't think we do.
No.
The Rumble thing, maybe. I don't think Roman's going into the Rumble. Maybe. I don't see it, though. And if he is, he's Final Four, and I don't think he wins. Punk and Roman at Mania? I could see that, but does it headline? Yes, Roman Reigns is box office. Yes, Roman Reigns is God mode. Roman Reigns has become one of the biggest stars of all time in the last 10 years. I just don't know if you just book Roman and Punk that if it's the main event of one of the Manias, because neither one of them's got the strap. You could put an implication that if they win, they headline the next night, but like, that's a lot of what ifs around that one too. I wonder what they're going to do with the favor, or even if it's Mania related. What if it's not? What if it's like an after Mania thing? I would hope it's towards WrestleMania, but Vince McMahon ain't booking anymore. It's a little bit more unpredictable than what it used to be.
Yeah, I have no idea, and so
I'll be very excited for whichever way it goes. I just hope it's nothing too stupid or nothing that I go, well, that was a waste.
Yeah.
Like Triple H has been cooking. Triple H has been cooking here recently with everything that he's been doing with WWE and Sean with NXT. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Definitely looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to next
It
week.
feels weird because being genuinely excited for a Monday Night Raw consecutively week after week. So let's just see where it goes. Yeah, because I mean there was a long stretch where didn't really care about weekly WWE entertainment. You know, so
Well, there was a long stretch where like we could have reviewed Raw every week, but we were like nothing really. What
no.
happened? Like me and you sat there one time, we were like, "What happened tonight?" Like,
Yeah, no, I mean literally
what was it?
there was eras where we loved our TNA tapings, there we loved our AEW, and
Been a
now
long time
it's
for that, but yeah.
WWE's back. Like they got the weekly television and the pay, like they got everything right now. So it is we're
I
eating
will
good.
say that since Roman Reigns' return at Payback when he fought Braun and Bray, I have not missed a premium live event from WWE since then at all. Like I've called in the jobs to watch them. I've made sure that regardless of what happens, I'm watching WWE. And like I've missed a few AEWs. I've missed a few. I missed quite a bit of TNA. I only watch like 2 pay-per-views of theirs a year. I'm not even gonna attempt to review Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty because Wrestle Dynasty was the only good show out of the 2. So that's just WWE's back. WWE is cooking. They got some amazing things going. I'm very excited for next week and for the future Netflix shows. So, all right, guys, this has been the Twitch debut of Chokehold Chatter on this new channel of mine. I hope you guys have had a great time. I've had a fun time doing this. Boys, say goodnight.